The new trailer for Avatar 2 has finally released online, and it includes visually outstanding footage and a bigger focus on the plot in James Cameron's highly anticipated sci-fi sequel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my reaction and breakdown to the new trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water, which is due to be released in theatres this December. But before I get into my breakdown of it, if you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding the Avatar sequels, the continuation of my Road to Avatar 2 series, and other sci-fi franchises such as Denis Villeneuve's Dune, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, turning on your notifications, and following me on social media via the links in the description. But without further ado, let's dive into my breakdown and thoughts on the new Avatar 2 trailer. So the new trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water gives us expanded world building, not just through its impressive VFX, but also through the imagery and new characters, which detail the powerful storyline we're going to be getting this time around. We get introduced to some of those new characters right from the get-go, including Jake and Neytiri's children swimming in the oceans of Pandora. One of their children, Neytiri, played by Sigourney Weaver, who of course played Grace Augustine in the first film, looks amazed at the sea creatures, and I think that based on this trailer, we're going to see the importance of them. It would also reflect how Yeoh communicated that Jake and the Na'vi needed help during that battle in the first film. We saw different tribes and creatures on the planet come to their rescue, and like I say, I think this time around we're going to learn more about the bond between Yeoh and the living on Pandora. A following scene between Jake and Neytiri makes that even clearer, showing that his daughter is going to be a big character in this franchise going forward. During footage of Jake training his kids as they grow up, a shot of the Tree of Souls, and the wood sprite landing on Neytiri, she says to Jake, "I know you think I'm crazy, but I feel her, I hear her heartbeat, she's so close." Jake asks what her heartbeat sounds like, and Neytiri replies, "Mighty." So I can see that we will learn more about Yeoh and things that change our perspective of this story and Pandora as a world. And this will come via a larger focus on Jake and Neytiri's children. Based on what happens later on in the new footage, I think that the opening shot of the children in the water is also their first introductions to the oceans around the home of the clan that allows them to stay there, following their previous home being destroyed by the returning revenge-filled humans. We see more shots of Neytiri being pregnant and the kids appearing slightly younger, so based on that, I'm guessing that in the first act, we're going to be getting a bit of time focused on the years since the original Avatar film. Then cue in some really epic shots where we get Cliff Curtis's Tonowari surfing the ocean on a massive sea creature, the one that was also displayed on the front of the Avatar 2 art book a few weeks back, and it seems that the dynamic between his clan and Jake and Neytiri's is going to be quite the interesting thing to see unfold. It's confirmed in the footage that Jake and Neytiri are pushed out of their home by the returning humans, and then they have to flee to the oceans to try and settle in a new clan's home and get them to join and help win this new war for Pandora. But as seen in the footage, Tonowari says to Jake that this is his war and not theirs. So we are really seeing an extension of what Cameron stated in the Empire magazine article from a few months back, where he said that Jake and Neytiri would be questioned by this new clan because apparently they have adopted a human son and are looking after other human survivors from the First War. It apparently creates a tense environment between the different clans, and with footage in this new trailer of their children being picked on and looked down at by members of Tonowari's clan, it definitely shows the obstacles that Jake and his family will have to get over before they even prepare for the new relentless war ahead. Alongside these challenges though, we do get some beautiful new imagery of Jake and his children riding sea creatures in their new home, exploring the oceans of Pandora Pandora soon after being allowed to stay there, and vibrant nighttime ocean scenes with Jake's son Loak mentioning that the way of water connects all things, which is quite the powerful reflection to the dominance of ocean on our planet, and it also reflects James Cameron's love for the sea, which he's explored so much in his career, whether it be with films or documentaries. This brings us now to the opposite side of things in the arising new war. We see shots of the new tech that the humans have brought with them to fight this battle, including new agile exoskeleton suits, a new water ship which looks identical to the ship from the first film, but now able to surf the oceans, underwater robotic suits, and shots of the humans destroying the land. After that previously mentioned footage of Jake and Neytiri's home being destroyed, we particularly see a new shot of Stephen Lang's Quaritch, presumably visiting the place where he died in the first film and crushing what I believe is the skull of his human self. We now see him as a Na'vi in The Way of Water, and I think that based on what was said by the actor in the Empire article, the Quaritch we now see is one that has been able to be brought back via the DNA of his previous self. I think he is dead, but that this version has been recreated to live as a Na'vi using the DNA of the original. So if that is the case, it makes for a pretty interesting evolution of his character, and the fact that we see other Na'vi soldiers around him in some of the segments suggests to me that maybe a lot of these individuals are soldiers that also previously died in that original war and have been brought back using the advancements in technology. You may be asking what else is really motivating Quaritch's character this time around, and while we don't see Jake and Neytiri's son Spider in this new trailer, that character is their human adopted son, and Cameron has already confirmed that he is the real human son of the original Quaritch. So maybe Quaritch is furious at Jake and Neytiri's clan when it comes to taking humans into their tribe after the First War and having brought them up there in the time since. We'll have to see, but I'm intrigued by the conflict that could evolve within this setup, and it definitely poses for a more emotional and powerful storyline with the sequel. But we come to the final sequences of footage in this new trailer, and it shows us shots of the final battle, with Jake riding a sea creature against the humans on boats, the big whale-like creature from before ascending from the ocean to attack the big mother boat, and Jake telling Neytiri that he needs her with him and that she needs to be strong. She fights the humans using her classic bow and arrow, and it's a really emotional ending that suggests that we are going to get a much darker third act that will lead into the rest of the franchise. I think that this ending might be indicating that a big character like Jake could actually die in this film, and he'll essentially leave Neytiri and his kids with the opportunity to rebuild a home on the oceans. They are definitely setting up their kids to be the main characters going forward, and I think it would make sense to make this film have a payoff or send-off to the character that started it all. He taught them the ideals of family, togetherness and home, and to have him maybe sacrifice himself so that they can live on, alongside all the potential reveals we get surrounding Awa and his daughter, is something that I think might be possible based on what we're seeing. We'll soon find out, but from a character and story perspective, we definitely got a lot more to chew on with all of this new footage, and it looks like this new war is definitely going to add to the narrative that began with the original Avatar. So what did I think of the full-length trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water? Well, watching this new footage really brought the chills and reminded me just how special the world that James Cameron digitally and masterfully created for the big screen. Just in the 2 minutes of new footage, we saw how he's really taken his time, literally, to advance the visual effects, and during the many water sequences and nighttime scenes, I think you can really see the progression to a point where these characters look real. There's no green screen or cheap methods being used like we see in many CGI-heavy blockbusters today, and that's because Cameron has put the effort in to capture these actors under and above the water using high frame rate motion capture technology and supremely evolved cameras. I particularly love the look at some of the sea creatures, and especially that one that I mentioned before from the Art of Avatar cover, as it showed that the filmmaker and the people working on these films really care and are striving to capture something bigger and wider bigger than the original film. This combined with a more intimate and emotional sense of scale makes me excited to see a more impactful storyline with The Way of Water. The idea of having the humans come back and succeed in pushing Jake, Ney'tiri and their family out of their home, and then our Na'vi characters having to convince other tribes near the ocean to allow them into theirs and even help them win this war is something strikingly relevant and provides the opportunity for some serious dramatic and expanding possibilities from a storytelling perspective. Contrasting that with the revenge of the humans and also how in particular Quaritch feels, not just towards his death, but also towards the fact that Jake and Ney'tiri have adopted his son, makes for an interesting conflict with much bigger stakes. The focus in The Way of Water is family and home, and I think having these character starting points is just going to make for a much more powerful film. I also was really surprised by the music in this trailer, because with James Horner having tragically passed away and not being able to do the sequels, the new music combined cues from his original score with modern motifs, and that really did move me and bring back that epic sense that we loved from the first film. Hopefully all of these impressions will be delivered on by Cameron come this December, and overall, this trailer did exactly what I wanted it to. It made me want to go back to Pandora once again, it posed more intriguing story and character details, and it blew me away with the advancements it's made through the technology being used. But that was my video discussing my thoughts and breaking down the new trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water. I can't wait to see what we get with the sequel on December the 16th, and with Cameron promising a more darker and evolved tale this time around, this trailer definitely echoed those comments. There's world building opportunities and the potential for deeper character arcs, and the focus on family and loss is something that can really push that message across. I'm hoping for another transcendent experience that makes me fully invest in a world full of CGI, and if this trailer is any indication, James Cameron may have done it again and shown how this is the right way to do it. But if you've seen the trailer, what are your thoughts towards the new footage from the film, and are you excited to return to Pandora in the first of 4 planned sequels? Let me know down below in the comment section. For much more videos and news on James Cameron's Avatar films, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.